Do you have high cholesterol? Do you take simvastatin, rosuvastatin, or another medication to lower your cholesterol? Did you know that these medicines deplete nutrients that you need to replace? Because symptoms like body aches, lack of energy, poor memory, and impotence are probably due to the side effects of this deficiency. Hello family, welcome to another video here on our channel. If you use statins, you probably know that they lower your coenzyme Q10 levels and you probably already supplement it. But what you might not know is that this medication also lowers 2 more vitamins and a mineral that are essential and that you also need to replace. Which vitamins are these? Do you really need to replace them? What are the scientific evidences? How do you replace them? And if you don't, what can happen? Let's talk about all of that in today's video, which deserves your like, deserves your thumbs up. Also, don't forget to share this video with anyone who takes statins and tell me, do you have high cholesterol? Do you take statins? Do you do any supplementation? Let me know in the comments below. Before starting this video, it's very important to leave a message for you here. Do not change your medication without your doctor's knowledge. The purpose of this video is to provide information so you can discuss with your doctor the best strategy for you. Well, statins, these medications that lower cholesterol, they inhibit an enzyme known as 3-hydroxy-3-methylglutarol, CoA reductase. This enzyme acts in a pathway known as the mevalonate pathway. It's the mevalonate pathway that produces cholesterol. So if you inhibit the enzyme, you decrease production. I'm not going to get into that in this video, whether that's good what the studies say. No. What I want to make clear with this video is, if you use statins, if your doctor thinks you need them, you need to replenish certain nutrients. Because the mevalonate pathway produces cholesterol, but it also produces other important substances, such as, for example, coenzyme Q10. Coenzyme Q10 is essential for energy generation. It maximizes energy production in our mitochondria. So if you have little coenzyme Q10, you will generate less energy. And that can cause a series of side effects, such as memory loss, body aches, and fatigue. That fatigue and lack of energy make you not want to get out of bed. It could be a coenzyme Q10 deficiency, and then there are 2 problems. First, as the years go by, the natural production of coenzyme Q10 already decreases. And statins decrease this production of coenzyme Q10 even more. Where did you get that from, Moacir? Take a look at this study, which was published in Journal of the American Medical Association. It shows that patients who use statins have up to a 52% reduction in coenzyme Q10 production. 52%, my friends, that's a very high number. So for anyone over 40, I already recommend supplementing with coenzyme, because we tend to produce less, exactly to increase our energy and vitality. If you use statins, then it's mandatory, okay? You have to supplement with coenzyme Q10. What's the dosage, Moacir? Well, it really depends, okay? It depends on the dose of statin you're taking, but usually above 200 milligrams per day. Prefer the coenzyme that's combined with taurine, okay? Taurine improves the action of the coenzyme in our mitochondria. But you probably already know that. For those who take statins, usually the doctor prescribes the statin and also gives a dose of coenzyme Q10 to the patient. Well, at least they should, right? But what you probably don't know is that statins also reduce vitamin D levels. Well, vitamin D is produced from cholesterol. So if you reduce cholesterol production with statins, inevitably vitamin D production is also compromised. And then there's another problem, right? Vitamin D is produced through sunlight. We're not getting much sun anymore. Vitamin D levels in the general population are already low. So it's another supplement that everyone should be taking, including children, because no one is getting much sun anymore. Why is vitamin D so important, Moacir? Immunity, okay? It's an immunomodulator. It regulates our immunity, energy production, inflammation control, and blood pressure control. Yes, low levels of vitamin D can raise blood pressure. Vitamin D, my friends, is extremely important. Adequate levels need to be there, preferably above 60 nanograms per deciliter, and most of the population has much lower levels than that. If you take statins, it's worse, right? So that's another supplement you really need to pay attention to. How much vitamin D should you supplement, Moacir? Well, it depends on your levels. If they're very low, the lower your vitamin D level is, the more you need. I take a maintenance dose of 5,000 international units, from 5 to 10, okay? I vary between 5 to 10,000 international units per day. But pay attention, always take vitamin D together with K2, okay? Vitamin D promotes calcium reabsorption. That's why it's important even in fighting osteoporosis. But this calcium can go to the arteries. It's K2 that prevents this process. And speaking of K2, it's another vitamin that's affected by the use of statins, okay? Yes, statins also reduce our K2 levels. And as I just said, K2 is essential for fixing calcium in the bones and reducing calcification of the arteries. Because it increases gamma-linolenic acid, right? Gamma-linolenic acid is what promotes this calcification in our bones. Where did I get this? From the study you'll see on your screen, which shows exactly that. Since the chronic use of statins reduces K2 levels, that's why it's important to always supplement vitamin D together with K2, okay? And is there a mineral? Yes, there's the most important mineral, which I call the maestro of minerals, and it's also affected by the chronic use of statins, which is magnesium. It's another mineral that everyone should be taking, whether they use statins or not. Because our diet is very poor in magnesium, and magnesium is essential and takes part in more than 300 reactions in the body. It's a natural antiarrhythmic. There are a lot of people out there with arrhythmia or magnesium deficiency. It lowers blood pressure, it's a natural painkiller, and it's essential for energy production. Look at that, how interesting. Magnesium is essential for energy production because it acts on adenosine triphosphate. And it's also essential for a good night's sleep because it helps with relaxation. And magnesium, you need various types, right? Magnesium that works at the brain level, like magnesium taurate, for example. Magnesium that helps lower blood pressure, like bisglycinate. The one that increases energy, like dimagnesium malate. That's why it's always a good idea whenever you're going to supplement with magnesium to use blends with different types, okay? It's on my supplement list. I use Magnesium 3 Ultra, which combines taurate, dimagnesium malate, and bisglycinate. This study appearing on your screen says just that. How the chronic use of statins reduces magnesium levels. Why does this happen? It absorbs less magnesium, decreases the absorption of magnesium, which is already low in our diet, and increases the loss through the renal system. So it's important that if you also use statins, you supplement magnesium. Because besides everything we've talked about, it's also important in fighting osteoporosis. I often say magnesium is more important than calcium for fighting osteoporosis. Because the calcium you ingest might be calcifying your arteries. Magnesium is responsible for fixing this calcium in our bones. So, do you see, my friends? It's not just about supplementing with coenzyme Q10. You have to keep an eye on your vitamin D levels and consequently your vitamin K2 levels, and also pay attention to your magnesium levels. Because statins affect all these nutrients, and I repeat, these nutrients, especially if you're over 40, are essential. Even if you don't use statins, now if you do use statins, it's even more important for you to supplement. My friends, my website is www.moacir.com.br. On my website, you can find all the supplements I use and recommend. All the supplements I mentioned here are on my website. Coenzyme with taurine, vitamin D with K2, 3 forms of magnesium, and creatine are included. I use and recommend many supplements on my website. My other social media are also there, my courses. Don't forget to visit my website. If you're not subscribed to the channel, it doesn't cost anything, my friends. It's free. Just click subscribe. Don't forget to click the bell and make sure to select all. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was useful for you. Don't forget to share it, and I'll see you in our next conversation. See you then, everyone.